All right, it is Wednesday, January 14th. We're going to look at gold, silver, and as many other things as we can before your attention span starts to wane. Why not? Why not start that way? All right, so gold, new historic high according to stock charts, 46.42. Again, we're not super soaring. We're just generally going up day after day. 0.8% on the day. 5K is just $376 away. That's what, 7.5%, 8%, which looks clearly viable in February. Let's jump to silver. Jesus, look at that! Look at that! Day 4 up. Day, what is that? What's that? One. Day 7 up with 8. Actually, no, it's day 7 of 9 up since that low. So look at this. We've gone from the 16, actually, well, if we started at 73s, 73s, 4 days, 92. 92. In fact, actually, the intraday high, new historic intraday high, 93.33. We could clearly beat $100 before the weekend, right? It's clearly viable now. We could be printing silver $100 before the weekend. Unbelievable. But it's not like the trend hasn't been telling you what the direction we're going to go, right? So look, if we're going to print $100 this week, or if not this week, then maybe next week, probably. I am also starting to think that gold 5K, which again is clearly an important level. If gold is 5K, then silver's probably going to be somewhere north of 110, maybe 115, maybe even 120. I mean, these numbers are starting to get a little bit pretty wild, right? But hey, early days, right? After a 45-year breakout, silver is going way, way up on a multi-year basis. And of course, silver gold up, so the miners, GDX, naturally printed a new historic. Again, though, it is a black candle, so it's getting tired. I mean, of course, today was restrained by the fact that the main market was down. Volume was only a little bit higher today. And we'll just have a quick peek at copper. Copper printed a new historic high of $6.10. Clearly, the sevens are coming this year. I don't expect it until maybe mid-year, summer. Let's look a peek at oil. Oil, I mean, it printed 62.36. It did cool back though on Trump comments easing back, on war talk a little bit. But you can also see that today's candle is spiky from just below the 200-day. So if you want to turn midterm bullish, you need to see 63. 63 is to be decisive. If you go above 63, then we'll go to 67. Otherwise, this is still, I'm kind of a little bit skeptical, but you can argue we have a higher low there, and we have taken out this high here. So if we do see the 63s, then we're going to go to 67, which of course would be very bullish, the energy stocks. And I'd say actually just jump straight to Exxon, which today settled up 2.9%, new historic high in Exxon. Jump to Chevron, sister stock. New historic high in Chevron up 2.1%. So the giants are powering upwards with, and that's only with oil 62, right? If oil can break 63, then you got to go to 67. I am certainly midterm bullish Chevron and Exxon. All right, let's just jump through as many things as we can. Oh my God, there's always a rush. Because I know your attention span is short. It does bug me a little bit. I mean, I could talk for hours, and even though I wouldn't do a video that long, I kind of like to, if I take it easy, my videos tend to be about 30 minutes, which I understand that's 30 minutes of your day, and how you could be doing all sorts of interesting and better things than listening to me for 30 minutes. But we'll go through a fair few things as quickly as I can. So structure is a bear flag, right? That's bearish. I will say that today's candle is a hollow red reversal that leans bullish, just like that one did last Thursday. So structure's a bear flag, but on this occasion, I am dismissive of it. I think we're going to break up and at least push for the 50-day just around 271. I'll call it 272-ish. Clearly not this week, but maybe next week. And of course, earnings are the 29th of January. Then they'll be fine. Let's move on before we get bogged down, though. Bullish air taxis. We really are going to jump through these quite fast. New historic high, but leaning back with the main market. American Eagle cooling back, but still midterm bullish. First Majestic Silver. Yesterday's candle was red. We did have a little bit of upside in early morning, but it settled down only by 2 cents, right? And again, this is $19. This should be 40, if not even $50 right now. So there's a mispricing going on. So again, the only concern is that the damn thing cools back. But s- silver gold are clearly still powering upwards, so cannot be bearish to miners. AMD up 1.2%, pushing against the 50-day, which has been resistance for quite a while now, since late November. I do expect a break up. And remember, KeyBank came out yesterday touting 270, which I agree with. Amazon, just a bit of cooling, no news. Nothing to be worried about there. Barrack mining up 0.5%. New historic high. That is a black candle. Boeing, just a little bit of cooling with the main market. The Barber, 1.7%. I mean, look, this is Monday's candle was a decisive break above the 50-day, and we're getting follow through. I do believe it will take out the 182s. This is based on the notion of a bullish China market. Actually, whilst we're talking about it, let's just jump to the China market, which I know some of you don't care about, and that's okay. But look, China market, net high for the month by around 4%, 41.26. That's a breakout. We're going to go to 5,000-ish. 5,000 is, let's call it 900 points up. That's about 20, 23, 24%. That's probably going to take a few months, right? At least 3, 44 months to get to 5K, but that's where we're going. And if the China market's at 5K, well, the S&P will be what? 73, 74, maybe 7,500. So people don't care, but the China market's telling you that the broader collective of equity markets across the world are going up. Bank of America had good earnings, market knocks it lower, but that's pretty normal, right? JP Morgan did it yesterday. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, also knocked down on good earnings today. We have earnings for tomorrow from Goldman and Morgan Stanley and BlackRock, and they should all be fine, but the market will be inclined to knock them down. That's just how it is for the financials on earnings. Bitmine, don't care. Cat, uh, considering the main market, had a pretty good day. Kamiko, up 1.7%. Again, you've got to be bullish uranium, right? Again, this is on like a multi-year basis. Carnival Cruise, yeah, shippers, well, the cruise line is just cooling back a little bit. Cleveland Cliffs, I mean, I don't like it. It's not great. I can't take it seriously. Coinbase was going up with crypto because Bitcoin was like 90, I think 97K. Deckers, I like. Closed down 0.3%. Today's candle it's not a reversal, but look at the price action. It's very subdued, very tight range. I still think this is going to go to 125. Clearly not until probably mid late February. Maybe March with earnings. The Mouse of Disney, a lot of chop. High with oil. Endeavor Silver, that's probably a new historic high. Ford, just a bit of cooling. Day 4 down. You could argue that this is a bull flag. Freeport McMoran, that is a new historic high at 1.7% to $60. If you think copper's going to be sustainably in the sevens or the eights, you can start to think about this one going to maybe close to $100 by late summer. Google, just a little bit of cooling. I mean, literally 13 cents. Home Depot, down 1%. Is that a bearish? Is that a bullish? No, it's not a reversal. It's just cooling. That's all it is. 400 looks pretty easy into early February. Little heckler, early upside, but it did reverse down. That's a bearish engulfing candle. Down 2%, but look, it's 23. It was $5 here in August. So had a hell of a run. Intel, look at that. Up 3% in the 48s. Next resistance is 50 and then 60. 60 looks realistic by mid-year. Joby Air Taxis up 2% again. Looks like the 200 days got a hold. All of this is arguably just consolidation. Remember, it started at 496, $20, and this is just sideways chop. This is consolidation. This is bullish. This is going to break up and away. And look at that. Look at that. What is that? That is a bull flag. That's a bull flag with a nice candle up. We should be breaking above 1658 within 2 or 3 days. Got to be bullish air taxis. JP Morgan knocked down yesterday on good earnings. Today's candle is, it's not a reversal, but it's a doji candle. It's arguably flooring. KKR 1.5%. Look at this. Today's candle is spiky from the intersecting 50 and 200 day. Bullish. Kinder Morgan, a little bit higher with oil. Free, up 1%. Centrus Energy, that's a bull flag. We're going up. LNT, Lockheed, new multi-month high, 2.6% again. Iran, war drums, 572. This is going to be breaking 600, right? Probably in a month or two. Meta, not pretty, right? Again, I highlighted this one yesterday because it's a textbook example of a stock stalling. Remember, here's the breakdown, bounces from the gap, and it gets stuck at this gap with the 200 day, and it keeps failing. Look at all these little fails over and over again. It kept trying and fails, and it clearly wants to touch red gap again. I guess it could be done by the weekend. MP Materials, that is a bullish engulfing candle. Look at that, 8.6%. That's a very nice candle. We're going up. Microsoft, much like Meta platforms, you see 200 day support. Support failed bounce, and now we're breaking down. Again, I should probably drag this orange gap across because that would be the natural target. Somewhere around what? What's that? 425-ish? Yeah, 425. And yeah, that there, by the way, is clearly it's a double top. 553, 552. And also look at this. Black candle. Black candle. Isn't that good? So yeah, still bearish Microsoft. Micron, just a touch of cooling with the main market. Netflix, down 2%. News cycle low, not great. Bearish engulfing candle. Next support is 82. Earnings are next Tuesday after hours. I mean, it's going to be a wild card it could jump. It could jump to the 50-day and then reverse. Or it could just break under 82 and then go down to $70 in February. I think I I know that the market will intuitively want to break under 82. It's got to want to take out the 82 stops. So the really cautious, the really patient are going to wait. They're going to wait for the 82s to be taken out, and hopefully it will get down to $70, where even I would be interested. Nike, oh yeah. It's Nike down 1%, just a bit of chop. I do expect a bullish breakout above $70, probably in early February. And then once he goes above 70, target will be 90. Nvidia just a touch of cooling with the main market. Oklo, it's just trying to stabilize. Don't care about that. Don't care about Blue Owl. Occidental high with oil up 2%. Broadly, that's a bit of a mess. Exxon and Chevron, far better performers. Pan American Silver, not a new historic high actually. It was just a touch high yesterday. And there's another black candle. We actually have looks like 4 consecutive black candles. Uh, Clearly today was restrained by the main market, but you know, if you believe silver's gonna be over 150 before year end, this should be at least 100, right? 100 looks pretty easy. Again, that's by year end. We're not talking like soon. Palantir down a touch. Don't care. Nasty PayPal. Um, Trying a vain attempt to try and put a floor in, but look, you get a floor there, fail. Flooring, fail. It's just relentless. It's sporadic upside for what is an ugly stock. Don't much care about QS. I mean, actually, I do like the company, but and you can argue, look, it's uh, it's a lot of chop. This looks like it's flooring. I like this. I do think this is going to go above $20. They make good batteries. Go do some digging on that one. Red Cap. Yeah, initial downside this morning, but they ramped it. The buyers piled in again. Got to be bullish drones. I don't care about rig. I should probably delete that one. Rocket Lab. Early weakness. Swinging upwards. New historic high. Bullish engulfing candle. Up 6% to 91. $100 is clearly viable near term. Impressive. SMR all over the place. It was down 3% in the morning, closed up free. Short term structure is a bull flag. Today's candle is almost bullish engulfing. This is going to go way up. I do expect it to go above 57. Clearly, that's 3, 4 months out. Target, which was last night's stock of the day, new cycle high. Soft target 115 and 145. Tesla, just a little bit of cooling. I'm not a fan. The problem is that vehicle sales are not good, are they? Take two. Yeah, it's just cooling back with the main market. I would especially note this. Look at where it floored in November for 200 day. The buyers piled in. So I think this will hold. United Airlines down 3%, not so pretty. But it's had a good run. Like this was a new historic high just last week. Oh, look at that. Uranium energy. Wow. Actually, wow, look at that. 10.5%. Bullish engulfing candle. Looks like we're going to get a new historic high pretty soon. Maybe tomorrow. Wow. United Health. Up 0.3%. Today's candle it's black, but I'm not too concerned about it. It's a little. You see how tight the price action is around the. We have look at this. We have 3 MAs. We have the 10 MA, the 50 day, the 200 day MA, all intersecting. If you look far across to the left, the last time VMAs were all intersecting was in February. Well, yeah, February, early early Feb, late January. Because in that instance, it broke down, put a new high, and then of course there was the collapse on multiple grounds. Um, This time I think we're gonna break up on the way. And we've looked at Exxon already. Just trying to think, is anything else to cover? I don't think so. Maybe just flash the S&P. Um, I mean, look, the second day down. Look at the candle. It's spiky from the 20 MA, which is that little dashed line, also yellow gap. That's where we. So that also, you know, you could argue we could come down here again and retest it, but Friday is OPEX. Friday is the lead into a 3-day weekend. Bears can't expect anything this side of the weekend. In fact, my guess is we're going to pin the market around 69.50. 7K looks out of range. 6,800 looks way too low. Yeah, 69.50 for the pin, and then maybe 7K next week. I would note the upper Bollinger on the daily now offers 7,021. So we have plenty. The bands are offering 7,021, and that number's going to go up next week. So next week we could be 7,030, maybe even 7,040 on a stretch. So yeah, bullish. Other than that, what chart do we want to end on? Oh my God, do we want to end on the silver chart again? I'm kind of inclined to, because it's just crazy. Look at this. Look at this. Oh my God, it's just oh. I mean, look at this. We still have 2 days left of the week. We are currently net high for the week by $12.75, which is 15.9% in a week, in 3 days actually. I mean, look, if we go to 108, that would be double where we were at the beginning of, well, the end of November. 108. We're probably going to be printing 108 in February, right? So silver will have doubled by early mid-February. It'll be around 108. Zero sign of a top, right? You can argue, well, that was a fake out candle. Maybe, end of year cooling chop, and off we go again. I mean, these candles. Look at the size of these candles. They make all of this just look like micro chop. Look at all this, months and months, endless, painful micro chop, and now it's like off we go. 92s, 93s was the high for today. It's like, well, we know $100 is coming. Could be before the weekend, could be next week, maybe not until February. It doesn't really matter. That's incredible. Wow. That's to me, the more I look at it, it's just, that's truly an incredible chart. And it's only January the 14th, and we've already printed 92s. At some point, this has got to break back down again. But again, my estimation now is that if gold is 5K, which is where gold would be inclined to get stuck, then silver at the current rate, silver is going to be 110, maybe even 120 when gold is 5K. Maybe I'll even end on a monthly chart for silver. We just jumped to that one. Wow. That look at that. Oh my God. That's even more wild when you look at that. For the month, actually on a year to date basis, silver is up $22.09, 31.3%. You have to ask yourself now, okay, say silver ends the month around 100. This current At the current rate, silver could be 125 Yeah, I mean, I certainly 120 is now looking realistic in February, right? And then maybe silver maxes out at say 125 or so, and then comes back down to say 100, maybe 90. Again, I think it's now pretty clear to me we are never going to see silver under $50 ever again. It's an extraordinarily bold and arrogant thing to say, but I think that's going to be the case. We're never going to see silver under $50 again, which was the old resistance threshold. I mean, maybe it will, but you know, it's looking very difficult. I mean, wow. Anyway, I've droned on too much about shiny things. I wish you a good Thursday, and I'm already thinking about the weekend. Can't come soon enough. Be good.